Episode 302. The signs of the Seventh Dawn stand ready to enter Rhalgr's reach, as soon as he sets them. She's made us wait here all night for some reason, I don't know why. It's almost as if she's waiting for good lighting, for the cutscene we're gonna get entering here. Well, I mean, I was kind of waiting for the good lighting, but I was also just doing other things while waiting, I guess. All clear. Let's go, let's go. Okay, you said it. Did I talk to these guys? I don't think so. Impressive or no, 20 years is a long time for even so complex a glamour to escape the Empire's notice. Yeah. Isn't this like a huge landmark? In fact, we could see it without the glamour, I think, so... Weren't they able to find this, like, just with airships or just in general looking? I don't know. Let us pray they are amenable to our proposal. United we stand to accomplish so much more. Seeing it now, I feel rather foolish for not having deduced it earlier. I think I did read some of this. I shouldn't have waited so long between episodes. Yeah, we read that. And of course we use glamours, by the way, LSA. We don't want to look like a chump in the standard armor. Although I guess the armor I'm wearing right now isn't too bad. The actual armor.
I remember the old stories, how the breaker of worlds came down from on high and cleft the earth with a single blow. Rhalgr's Reach, a holy place and a fitting home for the resistance, for the brave and the true, the loyal sons and daughters of Alamigo. They were waiting for us there, men and women whose souls still cried out for what was lost, for what could be ours again.
Glad I waited for the good lighting for that cutscene. Having said that, it was actually a pretty short cutscene, wasn't it? You know what, I should have ended the last episode right here. And if I was a little bit faster, we could have gotten like good daylight. In fact, it would have fit in better in the first episode if we arrived like at this exact spot. God damn it. Well, it wouldn't be one of my episodes if I didn't screw up somewhere. Or several places. Or the entire time. Ordinarily, I'd shudder at the thought of armed rebels trampling about in an ancient temple of immense historical importance. But Rhalgr is the Breaker of Worlds, so it seems rather appropriate if anything. Fascinating. A massive, nigh imperceptible glamour encompassing the entire valley. Oh, the entire valley? Well, thanks for explaining. And I see now how the settlement was able to escape the watchful eyes of Imperial airships. Great, exactly what I was wondering. See, this is why we were playing. For lore like that. It's hard to feel at ease with that giant statue looking down on you. This temple was once home to the Fist of Rhalgr, as I recall. Yes, there's no mistaking that statue. It's good to see Naga up and moving again. I wasn't there when she was headed home, so I naturally assumed she'd left too soon. Always overdoing it, that one. Are you always overdoing it, Manago? A pleasure to see you again, and Kral and Ishtola, without whose help, I might not be standing here today, at least not so soon. Oh, so you really came? I never thought I'd see you here, but I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, the heroes have arrived. Roll out the welcome mat or something. Which also would have been a good name for the first episode if I actually got here and had them roll out the welcome mat. Whatever. You'll forgive us our precautions, but we couldn't be sure who would cross the barrier. We see you now for who you are, though. The Sons of the Seventh Dawn. Yep, that's us. We're the most important one. A warrior light. Have you heard of us? Now, I know you would not have come all this way unless you had something important to discuss. And I'm eager to hear what it is that you have to say. But let's not do this on our doorstep, eh? Come with me. Alright, we're meeting over there. And the first thing we're gonna do is go over this way. I guess starting in this expansion, they start to have like one or two of these. The main one's gonna be, of course, over in Hingashi, but we'll get to that when we get to it. There's one here, though. I'll call it like a warm-up or something. And we'll maybe talk to some NPCs here and there, if we feel like it. I like the color of those chocobos. Where was it? Here? Here it is. Our first little platforming section. That's it. That's all it is. Well, I guess there's like one more jump that's actually harder to do or something. Was there more to this? Wait. Isn't there supposed to be like a lookout spot or something? Where is it? You know what? We haven't unlocked the lookout spots yet. We haven't talked to that one NPC that unlocks the lookout spots. I guess we did this a bit early. It might not even be here. It might be like... I seem to remember like a more funky jump. In fact, I think we can't do it yet until we get sprinting or mounting. I think we can mount in this area. But only later. No wait, we can do it now. But there was like somewhere to jump with a mount, and I think it was actually over there. Oh, whatever. Point is, you can platform up here, and I think this is the goal. So we reached the goal, I guess. Geronimo. Meek Glen. Is Meek your first name, or are you Glen and you're Meek? Do watch yourself around these chocobos. They train for combat, so they're a bit more aggressive than your average bird. Or than our bird. Oh, we can't summon it. Well, it's probably for a good reason. Don't want them to fight each other, the chocobos. And I guess over here they have a barber shop. Not really. Some kind of a hospital. Like a war hospital, or whatever you would call it. Too many wounded, too little medicine. Too much to worry about. So I don't. Instead I pray every day for the fighting to end. Don't worry, we're here for that. Deafening glare. This is a barber. You'll find countless injured fighters here, either undergoing treatment or awaiting it. Tread softly should you go inside. Probably should have talked to him first before we tread hardly inside. Oh, and I did get the Aetherite over here, so we can teleport there whenever we want. Did that in between episodes. So let's actually go get this Aetherite before I forget. Is what I want to say. Can we actually get this right now? Sometimes they're cagey about their Aetherites. At least they are in later expansions. For like gameplay reasons. This one's okay though. Okay, there's no like lore reason we can't take this one. Good. How do we want to do this? Gold Saucer, Revenant's Toll. Revenant's Toll is good. Limsa Laminsa is also good. We don't need Foundation anymore. But the main thing is that we're going to need one in Hingashi, because that one's on the other side of the world. And for whatever reason, I think it costs extra to go over there, even though it's only one screen away from Limsa Laminsa, technically. I think. So we're going to need an Aetherite favorite over there. So we'll replace either Limsa or Revenant's Toll, or we just make that our home. We currently have our home as Foundation and also a favorite as Foundation. But what we could do is make one of these favored and the other one the home. I think we want to Make this one favored, and make Hingashi home, probably. You there. Tell me about this. I've been told to destroy the Aetherite should the Imperial army find its way here, though I truly hope it does not come to that. Really? Can they use the Aetherite? I mean, they have people that can use magic, but I think in general Guardians have trouble with that sort of thing. That's like why they use the Magitech and all that. Oh, these aren't stairs. I mean, they were stairs. Taking a waterfall. Just kind of wondering what was over here. It's interesting. Can't actually go up there. Can't go up on the hand. Not a playable space. I was wondering if this guy might have something to say about this secret location, but I guess it's just normal for a Chocobo porter, even if it's a secret location. And I guess this would be like the main attraction. The symbol of Rhalgr. They have another one over in Eorzea, like the Realm Reborn areas. They have to have all 12 of these symbols over in the Realm Reborn area because it's like part of the marriage quest and all that, amongst other things, I guess. Just little Easter egg type stuff. But I feel like this one's more important, like way more important than whatever Rhalgr's symbol was over in the main part of Eorzea. In case it wasn't clear, this is one of our player hubs. For Heavensward, it was Ishgard and, what was it? Idleshire. Idleshire was more of a town than this, but I guess this one has the, magnificence of the statue. But it's not actually like the main hub. This is like a weird instance where you arrive in the, Oh, do I need to actually... Oh yeah, I need to touch these. I should do those. While I'm yapping, I guess. What was I saying? It's weird in this expansion because this isn't actually like the main player hub for the expansion. Like Ishgard is the player hub for Heavensward. But this isn't the main hub for that. This is like... For this expansion, this is actually like the endgame area, technically, for all of your endgame purposes, like where all the script and whatever stuff would be. Same thing that, the same niche that Idleshire filled out. Over here. That should be the last one. More appropriately, there's like a bigger actual city that serves as our player hub, which I guess makes sense. But for plot reasons, you arrive here first. And attuned. Alright, and the message pops up that we can now go other places. Like outside of it, over here. While there's daylight, let's have this conversation. I guess we stand on this side of the table. Most players probably just like walk around, but we have enough distance, enough range with our targeting, I guess. Although we're kind of staring at the edge of the table there. I mean, we're kind of peeking over the edge. When we first met back in the Shroud, I took you for just another adventurer. By Rhalgr. I still can't believe how far you've come. Oh, do we know this guy? He's from the Realm Reborn quest, then. I don't recognize him, but... If he was in the Shroud, then he must have been over in Quarry Mill, where we just were for the Palace of the Dead and all that. Didn't recognize like some of those characters moved around. We plan operations here, when we're not entertaining important guests, like yourselves. Entertain us. Can we stand on this? Okay, we can stand on this.
Allow me to welcome you once more to Rhalgr's Reach, our humble headquarters. My name is Conrad Kemp, and I have the dubious honor of overseeing operations here.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Master Kemp. I am Alphino Leveilleur of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, as are my comrades. Before I speak of our purpose here, pray allow me to thank you for sheltering Ida, forgive me, Lys, and Papalymo at great risk to yourselves.
No, there's no need for that. They risked their necks for us enough times. 'Twas the least we could do.
I wanted to, I mean, about the mask and...
Don't fret over that. You're not the first person to take up arms against the Empire under a false name. We'd do the same if we had any sense. My condolences for your loss, child.
What he's saying here makes sense, like doing the whole thing of not giving away, like... Because they're under Imperial capture, right? They're, under Imperial rule. But they're also rebels with families and everything. So if they knew who they were and who they had connections to, then obviously that's bad. For everyone that they left behind back under captivity or whatever. So all that, false name and mask stuff makes sense for them. But I'm not sure how it makes sense for Lys still. I still don't really fully understand that part of the plot. Like, she's not really protecting anyone by taking up Ida's mask or whatever. Since Ida's already gone.
Papalymo laid down his life to save us, to give us a chance to make a better future for ourselves. There will never be a better time to drive the Garleans from our lands. But we have to take the lead on this. We can't leave it to fanatics like Ilberd.
More than a few of our people were taken in by his promises. Followed him all the way to the wall. Good men and women who never came back. When Monargo told us what had happened, how the bastard had made sacrifices of them for his twisted ritual, by Rhalgr it filled me with an unholy fury. But what's done is done. Best we can do now is see that it wasn't all in vain.
That is why we are here today, sir, to see that some good comes of this tragedy. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, we do hereby extend a formal offer of military assistance to the Alamegan resistance.
Do you now? Well, go on then. I'm sure there's more to it than that. So that's the way of it, eh? The Alliance, hoping to avoid a direct confrontation with the superior forces of the Empire, wishes to engage them by proxy with our vastly inferior ones.
This is sort of like what happens in real life, right? Or at least what happened. I don't know, World War II, or was it World War I? I think it was World War I. Where it started with like a smaller country and then escalated and escalated. I don't remember the full details from history class. I'm pretty sure it was something like that, though.
My comrades and I must confer on your proposal. A moment, if you please.
Of course, Master Kemp. Take all the time you require.
Okay, you guys done yet? We'll need to call the other senior members together before we can make a decision. So the Gudonians are finally willing to fight, eh? Yeah, I guess they would be pretty, well, they try to keep their heads down over in their forest of theirs, with their elementals and everything. To be honest, I already know I want us to work together, but we still got to talk it over with everyone. Yeah, with everyone, before we continue with the main quest. I can't imagine that they would refuse, but if they did... So they would have us wait. Very well. Papalymo and I weren't entirely honest with you. Though we were sheltered in Little Alamigo at first, we spent most of our time here, working with Conrad and his people. But you probably guessed that the moment I led you to the Reach, didn't you? Oh. I didn't really put two and two together, because that was like episodes and episodes ago. And for the people that had actually played the game live, it would have been months and months, maybe even a year ago, since they heard Lys and Papalymo, back then Ida and Papalymo, talk about that. But I guess the original writing was that they said that they were over in Little Alamigo, but then they were over here instead. Sure. I just kind of thought she knew the way because she's been here, I don't know, at some other point. It's not as though we have to stand around here indefinitely, do we? You're right. Let's move on. Not that. Should I? What item level am I? 270. The end level gear that we get for trading in these elegant tomestones of poetics over in Ishgard. The end game for Heavensward, that is. That does get us through most of the stuff over here in Stormblood, even though this is only level 60 gear. It's still as good as some lower tier leveling gear. It should actually be good enough up until the end of the story, I think, without any real changing of equipment. So let's just get the tin pieces. Never mind, it's materia. We'll just get the materia. Offer me the tin pieces. I want to collect those again. So it would seem we find ourselves with a surfeit of free time. Now, forgive me. You're free to look around Rhalgr's Reach. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. It'll give you a better grasp of our current circumstances. Damn. I should have waited until the plot bade me to actually look around. Oops. Thank you, Master Kemp. I believe we will do just that. Let us make the most of this opportunity and assess the Resistance's capabilities. Free to poke our noses wheresoever we will, eh? I like the sound of that. Well, I already know this place inside and out. I can show you around if you like, Komori. Great, let's get started. If this would have been Dawn Trail or maybe even Endwalker or later, she'd actually be walking around with us with the technology they developed around then. NPCs walking around with you. That technology. But no, not yet. She's just standing where we need to be, so we'll catch up with her. I'll bet you think the Resistance is mostly made up of Valamegan Highlanders like me. But the truth is, we don't even account for half. We've got Hellspawn from all the way over by the spine in here, and plenty of Seekers of the Sun like Naga. There's even some Beastmen. Well, Beast Women, I suppose. Like that one over there. She's an Ananta. They've been with us for a while now. Well, one of the smaller factions has. The rest won't have anything to do with us. We're no different from the Guardians to them. They keep to themselves, spending all their time crafting. Ananta make the most amazing jewelry, by the way. They use magics to twist metals and crystal into shapes you wouldn't believe. It's a pity people hardly ever get to see their work. But then most don't even know they exist. Yeah, crafting. It's not completely unobvious, I guess. Or maybe it is completely obvious, I don't know. She's saying that we're going to be doing society quests for them later on. Crafting society quests. That's enough about that anyway. Let's take a closer look at the statue of Rhalgr, shall we? And there she is, fading into view in the distance there. Ours is a cause that knows no boundaries. Valamegan, Ananta, all are welcome in the fight for freedom. It is kind of a nice view here. If I'm being honest, this is kind of one of my, maybe even possibly my least favorite player hub in the game. Just because it's not really a city. Even Idleshire is more of a city, it's at least a village or something. This one's just kind of like a bunch of little tents and lots of resistance encampment. I guess it's sort of like a village in that sense, since they permanently live here as long as the fighting is going on. But even though it's not necessarily my favorite, it's still kind of beautiful in the right lighting. Maybe even in the darkness, it's better than I remember. Or we can actually go up here. But that's like That's actually a optional dungeon after the expansion, if I remember correctly. We can go up there if we're doing a tour, I guess. Pretty awe-inspiring, isn't it? The Breaker of Worlds, who guided our ancestors to these lands all those centuries ago. Ada used to tell me the story on stormy nights. She wanted me to understand, to remember. Yeah, speaking of stormy nights, I had one just last night, before I recorded the first episode for Stormblood. Apparently there was a power outage for some people. I might have been asleep for that. Funny that happened right before I recorded Stormblood, the Storm. At the end of the 5th Astral Era, when the waters rose higher and higher, people all across Eorzea beseeched the heavens for a sign. And lo, a burning star appeared in the eastern sky, and led the way to those mountains of Garabania. They who were saved by his grace, pledged to honor and revere him, to devote themselves to great works without and within. A storm of blood approaches fast, hells open, heavens weep. For no one soul does lie beyond the measure of his reach. Take a moment to soak that in. That's literally important to the story of this expansion. That last part was inscribed on this stone by a monk of the Fist of Rhalgr. He'd explained it to me. A day will come bringing strife and sorrow that none may escape. Waste not these precious hours, but in quiet preparation make strong the body and mind. Very monk-esque. I don't know if that storm of blood is finally upon us, but if it is, I have to believe that everything we've been through, everything that has led us to this point, will see us through in the end. Was that actually saying Storm of Blood? Oh yeah, Storm of Blood right there. Didn't even clock that. Sorry, that was all a bit melodramatic, wasn't it? Let's keep moving, shall we? Off to the infirmary. That was the word I was looking for. Infirmary. Not hospital, not war, whatever. Infirmary. Don't know why I didn't remember that word. Dharma? The Vera have no love for the Imperials. Full glad are we to pledge our plates to the Resistance. Snake speech, as expected. Emmett? Not that Emmett. Certainly not. Not like a... No, it's not like a disguise or anything. You wouldn't believe how many bandages we go through in a day. I pray we get more soon. I don't think this character was here before. Actually, where's everyone else now? Like the other scions other than those two. Bastards got me in the shoulder. I have still the strength to stand on a battlefield, but I'm no good to anyone like this. Let's go find Alphinaud and Alisay real quick. I think those are the only two we're missing right now. I'm pretty sure that was everyone. Like us 6. Corali, Stola, Alphinaud and Alisay. Us and Lys. Where are those two? By the Aetherite? Maybe they faded out of existence, and they'll fade into existence when we get into a cutscene, or something. Well, since I'm looking around... No wait, that's not where we're going. Yeah, I didn't see them anywhere. I might be missing their flavor text if they're just kind of around. I guess we'll go over here and see this part. I guess there's actually more living quarters and whatever behind these doors and everything. And just like the other parts of the Reach that you don't really see. A more sizable village than I gave it credit for. At least with our imagination it can be. And that's why they put those doors there. I mean, why they design... How they design small spaces like this to give a sense of a larger space. Like there's an entire Temple of the Fist over there, which wasn't accessible until, like, after the actual expansion. Or it might actually be like the dungeon that you get after clearing the expansion that was already part of 4.0. Point is, it's a very large space, even if it doesn't look like it. The path ahead leads to the Temple of the Fist, and it's my duty to ensure that only those of sound body and mind are permitted to pass. And we're not? I guess we're not. Let's make things faster. Gonna teleport right back to Lita, or to Lise. I combined Lise and Lita. Lita and Ys. What's this? Hang on. What's this? We got a quest already? Like a blue one? Oh, right. Sure. Look at this. It's fancy, isn't it? Let us into your club. Well met, adventurer. My name's Galliena, and I work at the House of Splendors for my Aunt Rowena. Really? The House of Splendors is in on this. They're in on the Resistance. That seems a little suspect. Following her successful expansion into Idleshire and the 3 city-states, she's decided to bring her operations here to Rhalgr's Reach. Our presence here serves to aid the recovery effort, creating jobs for refugees and stimulating the economy. With your skills, you would be of great help to us. And of course, if you have any collectibles, I'd be happy to take them off your hands and exchange them in exchange for scripts. With locations realm-wide, it has never been easier to do business with the House of Splendors. Even with the war going on, huh? Okay. Oh, and not that. Yeah, nothing there. I guess we just unlocked these guys. Okay. Never did find Alpha Node in LSA. You too are come to inspect the facilities. As you can see, they have done well to set aside this much space, but their supplies are insufficient. We examined the patients and offered what assistance we could. However, for many of their injuries, time and bed rest are the only effective treatments. They're like doctors without borders here, Kral and Ishtola. That's sort of what the Scions are, even though we're kind of fighting a lot of the time, well, most of the time. But they are just kind of like... I mean, they're there to help for the most part. A lot of the time we are fighting in the war, but... I mean, it's more than that. This is the infirmary, as you can probably tell. Here's where the Resistance healers patch up the wounded and tend to the sick. No matter how carefully we planned our operations, casualties were inevitable. It's a sad thing to think about, but it's also important to remember the cost, as Conrad would say. We should go. I'll show you the Aetheryte Plaza next. Oh, great. We were just there. When you've seen one Aetheryte, you've seen them all, right? Not quite. This one's an older design, dating back decades to when the Fist of Rhalgr was still here. It may look a little different, but it works just as well as any other. I'll show you where the Sutlers are next. I don't know what that is. Don't forget to attune to the Aetheryte before we go. You should have reminded me back in Castromorians. That's the one I forgot. Oh, there they are. They did fade in for this. Hardly surprising. When there's war, where there's war, there's profit to be had. Ah, excellent. They've no shortage of Sutlers here, should we have need of their services. Okay, these are Sutlers. Another word for merchant, I guess. They even got a goblin. Arms, armor, potions, you name it. These folks got it. The Resistance would be in a bad way without brave merchants to keep it provisioned. If you're short on anything, or you need anything repaired, these are the people to speak to. Oh, Alfred and Alice are here. Why don't we see how they're getting on? Yeah, let's. If you need to buy anything, now might be a good time. I think we're good. We got all our potions, like all the way up to super potion. Is there like a better potion than this? There has to be, right? Because like 3600 is way more than, or that's way less than 25% of your HP in the higher levels, like all the way up to 100 or whatever. Come to take the measure of our friendly neighborhood merchants. They're a bold lot, I must just say. If the Imperials found out they were peddling their wares to the Resistance, they would be lucky to escape with their lives. 'Tis a gamble, aye, but I admire their courage. But their motives could hardly be said to be altruistic. Ah, here you are. I've been looking all over for you. We finished discussing your proposal, and we're ready to receive you all at the back at the tent. I've sent someone to fetch Ishtola and Kryle, so if you'd like to follow me. So I'd have kept you waiting, but matters such as these demand due deliberation. We'll begin once the others arrive.
Thank you all for waiting. We have reached a consensus. I, Conrad Kemp, do hereby accept the Eorzean Alliance's proposal. You must understand, however, that our cooperation comes with certain caveats.
Those caveats being...
I take no joy in this, just so you know. Were it within my power, I'd offer you more assistance. But the Resistance is far more fragmented than you realize. The men and women in my care belong to but one of many factions. Simply put, I can only speak for the people of Rhalgr's Reach. Now, I have every intention of appealing to the others, and I expect many will agree. But it will take time, and I cannot guarantee universal support.
Understood. I shall see that the Alliance is under no misapprehensions as to your position.
Much obliged. But that's not the whole of it. As you can imagine, the loss of those who cast their lot with the Griffin left us short on numbers. Some of our most trusted veterans died at the wall, and we've had to fill their posts with the young and inexperienced. Frankly, everything's in a right bloody mess.
Oh, we'd be more than happy to help you get back on your feet. If we're going to work together, we'll be doing ourselves a favor.
Well, there's no shortage of work to be done, that's for sure. We're in dire need of new blood, too.
Ishtola and I could lend a hand in the infirmary. From what I saw, they could do with a few more healers.
Very well. I, for my part, shall return to the Rising Stones. I'm certain there are others among the Scions who would welcome the opportunity to fight for Alamegan liberation.
Is there anything else we can do to help?
I had something else in mind for you lot. Monargo and Mefred will tell you more.
Understood. We won't let you down.
What a relief. For a moment there, I really wasn't sure which way it was going to go. I mean, could you imagine if they said no? Yeah, as if there were any doubt. I guess Lise did doubt it. Now that we've dealt with the formalities, we can get to work. I'm glad you're with us, friend. Pinch me if I'm dreaming, because that's where it's finally happening. The whole of Eorzea, committed at last to the liberation of Alamigo. Right then, Rhalgr and Meffred are to be our keepers. Knowing not of what they require, one task is as good as the other. Make your choice, Komoy. I choose that. Ah, our ether compass. I mean, we're already using it. There's none here though, right? Yeah. Right, and here's the customary thing that they started ever since Heaven's Ward. I don't fully understand the reasons, just kind of the bare basics, I guess. They have to split up players between 2 different regions so that, like, the areas don't get overloaded with instances or something. So Rhalgr is going to take us to one section, probably this one, I think. Well, maybe Meffred takes us there, either one. And Meffred's going to take us to the other one. And just in these 2 beginning areas, we're going to do some missions, and that's how they handle the influx of players all playing at one time. At the very start of a expansion, by kind of splitting them up between 2 sections. They do it every time like clockwork, but they usually have good reasons for why they do it, and I'd say it's more or less seamless. Always gotta do some odd jobs upon arriving, right? I leave you in my officer's capable hands, and them in yours. I wonder what Conrad has planned for us. After you, Komoy. Okay, we get to choose then. We could pick up both, but I guess it makes more sense to just choose one. Eeny, meeny, miny. Monago. It landed on Monago. Oh, and that's on this side of the wall, it seems, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, okay. So yeah, Monago is on this side. Which I guess we only barely begun to explore, so yeah, that also works for me. We'll explore the area that we started in and then move on to this section, which is a bit further in. Before we begin, I'd like to thank you and the Scions again for patching me up after I bled all over your floor. Yeah, didn't even clean up your own blood off the floor. We had to do that, you know. Well, I guess we had to make Tataru do it, but she doesn't have to know that. The point is, if we're gonna bleed on your floor, then we're gonna make you clean it up. Fair is fair, right? Anyway, I owe you my life, and I won't forget that. Furthermore, it was rude of me to run off without saying a word. It's all well and good me claiming my duties here couldn't wait, but a parting thank you was the very least you deserved. My apologies. And thank you. Now to business. Commander Kemp's entrusted me with a formal reply to be hand-delivered to the Alliance leadership. It covers everything we discussed, as well as detailing the disposition of our forces. What I need is an escort, 1 or 2 men at most, so we can make it to the wall swiftly, and without attracting undue attention. Very well, I shall join you on this. General Aldin commands the forces at Castrum Oriens. It should be simple enough to see it into his hands. Great. That's just what I've been wanting, or just what I wanted to hear. When you're ready to depart, meet me at the pass leading out of the Reach. Oh, and I guess Lise would join us on the other one. I'm wondering how long we spend here. I kind of remember that we move on pretty quickly. It's just kind of the way the story split up. But I guess it's not like cleanly cut in half like I thought it was. It's more like cut into thirds or two... What would it be, like 20%, 40%, 40%? Something like that. Oh, are you the one that gives us a thing? Must be. Yeah, the Ironheart name. That there's a sightseeing log? Or that there's a sightseeing log, unless I'm mistaken. Do you perchance know a woman named Millis? We don't remember. We don't remember meeting her, but I'm sure we did. Ah, what are the odds? Millis is my niece, lest you wonder, and she has told me much and more about you in her letters. Now, but where are my manners? Rhalgr Ironheart at your service. I'm an explorer, like most of the clan, and my niece bade me share with you such knowledge I have accumulated. Here, lend me your log. Let's see now. Definitely there, and there, and there, and there. Yes, that ought to suffice. My explorations have taken me far and wide, but dearest to my heart are the regions of Alamico, beauteous in their ruggedness, and the lands of the Far East, glorious in their diversity. Funny you mention that, the Far East, as if you know we're going there. There are many wondrous sights to be seen in these places, and I've written down the directions to them. Did this guy complete all the platforming too? I guess he must have. Some will prove more difficult to reach than others, but if you're even half as resourceful as Millis says you are, I'm confident that you will find them all. Now with that, I shall leave you to resume your adventures. Go forth, my friend, and take in such breathtaking vistas as even my father, the great Rhalgr Ironheart, could not see in his lifetime. And we unlocked the sightseeing log for this. I've never really done any of these, I don't think. But we will make a special exception for the ones that require you to do some platforming. We'll only unlock those ones, just to prove we did the platforming, I guess. Like that one over there. We already did that one, but I guess we have to do it again. No problem for me. Damn. It was a problem for me. I overshot it right at the end. Undershot it right at the 70% mark. Undershot it right at the very first jump, twice in a row. I was already up there. Come on. Give me a break. It's not even one of the hard ones. And look out. Bloodstorm. Set at the feet of the Destroyer, this monument enshrines in stone the words of a high priest of the Fist of Rhalgr. That thing we already read. And that'll be the only one we do for a while, I guess, until we find another platforming challenge. I guess maybe I could consider, like, if I ever do want to do it, like the entire sightseeing log. I could have saved that for when I was actually, like, doing them all at once, and I could, like, do an entire episode or few episodes where I just do sightseeing logs, like every single one contained in a special episode or something. But I'm not sure I'm even gonna ever record that, so I'd rather just unlock the platforming ones like that. Let us defer to Minago with regards to the route. While we could just as easily head back the way we came, or teleport, there could be any number of reasons why we should not. Got everything you need? Good. Then let us be off. Looks kinda different at night, especially with the wall still lit up. Who's paying the electricity bill now? Now that the Guardians are, like, forced out of the wall. Is it still, like, connected to their electrical grid? Are we stealing electricity from them? No, no. Why have we stopped? Is Autumn miss? She's intimidated by the lesser Gagana. Gagana? Quite, hear that? That was a ceruleum engine backfiring. Imperials. Ye gods, you have preternatural senses. I didn't hear a thing. Yeah, well, we heard it. Definitely. When you grow up hunting in these lands, you learn to discern the sounds that could mean life and death, be they of a predator or patrol. From what I'm hearing, we have a 7-man patrol augmented with a single Magitech armor, wide search pattern, divided in 2. No, 3 teams. Don't think they know we're here. It's risky, but we should split up and try to take them all by surprise at the same time. We don't want them calling reinforcements. Wow, she knows all that. 3 teams, 3 of us. Nothing for it then. Where are they? Head north. You should see them long before they see you. I'll deal with the ones to the south. The armor should be just to the west. Commoy is best equipped to deal with that. Yeah, our fancy staff here. We attack in 5. That should be enough time to get into position. Rendezvous on the east bank after. Any questions? No? Then good luck. Wow, she's capable. Came up with a plan really fast. Guess she's used to it. Now where's that armor? Should be easy to spot. I guess it's gonna spawn in. We also have backup. Our Chocobo. We trained to level 10. Would be nice if we could train it to level 20 though. You know, we were supposed to ambush them. Oops. And down. Not you. We're not here for you. My macro for mounting also locks on. I wouldn't have been able to mount up anyway because we're under attack. The Palace of the Dead has trained me to go around these guys, so I should actually use that training. These sprites? Well, they're not aggro, but I guess they would be sight, considering those sprites in the Palace of the Dead. Oh wait. We're rendezvousing over here. There they are. Keeping well hidden. Didn't even spot you. Full marks. I'm pleased to report that the Empire is short 3 soldiers. Not that any self-respecting legatus would be sorry to lose them. It looks like everything went to plan. Not that I'm surprised. The three soldiers I faced didn't put up much of a fight. Most of the Imperials we get out here are conscripts from other provinces, with little training and even less conviction. It's grim work, killing men and women like that. But don't doubt that they'd do the same to you, if the roles were reversed. And don't you dare pity a man in armor. Conscript or no, a soldier piloting one of those can kill a dozen good men in the blink of an eye. Not that I need to tell you that, after what happened at the wall. And that's the same? Okay. Right. I believe we've rested long enough. We should resume our journey before someone notices their missing patrol. And of course it's not fully over in Castrum Orient, so we can't just teleport there. But that's fine. They want you to sort of walk the way back, because that's what the characters in lore are doing, in universe. And by extension, your character is doing it too. What's this? Another patrol? More soldiers? I didn't think they'd come this far west. But better be safe than sorry. Mixir, only Alliance patrols ahead. Okay, never mind. You said the forces I cast from Oriens were under the command of Thane General Rabban Aldin, did you not? By Rhalgr, the bull of Alamigo himself. I never dreamed I'd have a chance to meet the legend. I guess we can teleport there now. Pretty good glamour. What is all that? Oh right, critical hit stuff from multiplayer. I think those would probably go well with other pieces. I mean, she was already mixing and matching those pieces with other pieces, but just in general, like mixing those pants with like a different top or something. Oh, there's Pippin. I didn't see you there. And I bet he didn't see us either. That's just how it is with Lalafels and tables. I returned from a survey of the wall but a moment ago. We have yet to recover Papalimos' personal effects, I'm sorry to say. But you may rest assured that we will notify you and yours the moment we do. Didn't even think about that. See, this is the thing, having a glowing weapon.
It is good to see you again, my friends. I hope you are here to tell me you have made contact with the Resistance.
We just kind of stand out a little bit uncomfortably when our weapon glows like this. I'm not a fan 100%, but at least it's not like glaring, I think.
We are, General. Allow me to introduce Monago of Rhalgr's Reach.
And also remind me what you sound like.
At your service, sir. And may I say what an absolute honor it is to stand before the Bull of Alamigo.
These are not the blood sands, girl. You and I are but soldiers on a battlefield fighting for the same cause.
As you say, General. On behalf of Commander Kemp of the Alamigan Resistance, I present to you our formal response.
Good. I'm glad we've reached an accord. Though I was not aware you had suffered such losses.
Yeah, blame Ilbert for that one. Blame Ilbert for everything. We're doing all this because of Ilbert.
Aye. Some of our finest took part in the Griffin's doomed assault, and we've been struggling to find new recruits ever since. The massacres cast a pall over the whole Resistance, and many who might once have been open to joining us have since thought better of it.
After all of the Griffin's false promises, one can hardly blame them. They have no desire to give their lives for a lost cause.
We will not lie to them. This is war, and lives will be lost. Yet what we offer is not the fever dream of a madman, but true hope.
The people need proof of this, Father. Let us show it to them. I say we stand shoulder to shoulder with our new allies and engage the Garleans in open warfare. The Resistance must demonstrate that they can hold their own against Imperial regulars. And with our assistance, I am confident they can do just that. If we can achieve even a token victory, I believe it will serve to rekindle the hope of the Alamigan people and inspire them to rise up once more.
Aye. Aye. Once word spread that we'd won a battle against the Garleans, I'd wager we'd have new recruits flocking to us from malms around. The question is, when and where do we strike?
I'm glad you asked. I have a plan.
Alright, are you going to tell us that plan? He's going to. But he's not going to do it voiced. Great. Our scouts recently informed me of an interesting development at Castellum Velodina, namely the arrival of a shipment rumored to have come from the research and development facilities near the capital, containing prototype Magitech armor. It is our assessment that this armor is to be field tested here, most likely against Alliance forces, mayhap before the day is out. Damn it all, more Magitech weapons? That's the last thing we need. Your concern is not unwarranted, but we needn't despair just yet. The shipment is thought to have contained a single heavy unit and 1 or 2 support units. With a well-laid ambush, we are confident we can destroy them all, hindering their development and delaying future deployment. And should carry out as a joint endeavor with the Resistance. Where did I go wrong here? What am I reading wrong? This. That's what I was missing. And should we carry this out as a joint endeavor with the Resistance, they will have their rallying cry. It would mean dropping all pretense about the Alliance not wanting to go to war with the Empire, but you'd have a lot more folk willing to stand up and fight, if they knew that they weren't alone. And you were going to have to do it eventually anyway. Exactly. And so what I propose is simple. We harry their patrols to bait them into bringing their prototype weapons to the East End, where our Resistance allies will take them from behind. Simple indeed, and well within our capabilities. I see no reason to delay, especially if a field test is imminent. What say you? Assuming the Vice Marshal's intelligence is accurate, I agree with his assessment and fully support his plan. I shall notify my comrades at once. Understood. I shall have one of my men bring you the details of the plan anon. And we, for our part, will be fighting with the Alliance, yes? I somehow doubt you were intending to sit this one out. Okay, we won't sit this one out, but we will sit down right here, for a short rest since it's about that time. That would be a good time to take a break.